Introducing the Open Palm Podcast with host Jerome Shaw, available today on your favorite podcast platforms. The Open Palm Podcast is a positive, uplifting, motivational, and inspirational podcast. The host brings his insight and philosophy, and you can't help but gravitate towards his smile, his words, and his wisdom. Again, the podcast he hosts is titled The Open Palm Podcast. It's about inspirational messages, motivating themes, and thought-provoking ideas and topics. He'll also help you become more aware and in harmony with your own life, giving you a better understanding of your place in the world and using your skills accordingly, greeting the world with an open palm instead of a closed fist. You can find the show today on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. You can also connect with the host on Instagram at JRomeShaw. That's JROMESHAW on Instagram. Jerome Shaw with the Open Palm Podcast. Motivation, meditation, mentality. Go listen, download, and subscribe today.
As a group of frogs were traveling through the woods, two of them fell into a deep pit. When the other frogs crowded around the pit and saw how deep it was, they told the two frogs that there was no hope left for them. However, the two frogs that fell down the pit decided to ignore what the others were saying. They proceeded to try and jump out from the pit. Despite their efforts, the group of frogs at the top of the pit were still saying that they should just give up, that they would never make it out. Eventually, one of the frogs took heed to what the others were saying, and he gave up, falling down to his death. The other frog continued to jump as hard as he could. Again, the crowd of frogs yelled at him to stop the pain and just die. He jumped even harder, jumping, and finally made it out. When he got out, the other frog said, "Did you not hear us?" The frog explained to them that he was deaf. He thought they were encouraging him the entire time. What do you gather from this story, my friend? This story entitled The Group of Frogs. In life, there are many times that we hear outside opinions, outside criticisms, outside advice, outside encouragement, or things that put us down in life. People's words can have a big effect on others' lives, especially if they don't think about what they say before they say it. But it is what you choose to receive. Do you receive those criticisms? Do you receive those words as a gift in your life? Or do you not receive it? Do you not accept it? To whom does that gift belong? Sometimes, just like the frog in this story, it pays to be a little deaf in life. Deaf to all the outside criticisms and all the things that people might say to discourage us from attaining great things in life, from accomplishing, having victory over, and achieving things that we know is within us. Sometimes we ought to reframe these criticisms and these judgments coming from other people, and we can change them to fit whatever narrative we like. We can say that these people are actually on our side. Secretly, they want to do the things that we're doing. Secretly, they have given up on their dreams, and they're only trying to say what they're saying out of love, but secretly they wish that they were doing the things that you are doing, the things that make you great. They are secret admirers for you, watching you jump out of that pit, watching you escape the rat race, watching you go for it. They secretly admire you. They wish that they could be as brave and courageous as you. But they are in their own pits. They're in their own prison of their own making, a prison for their mind. You could also flip it on its head and use these words, these negative words that people try to bring you down with, because of course we know that the only reason why someone would want to bring you down is because you're above them. When you reframe and flip this on its head, using it instead for fuel, allow it to push you even harder, just like that frog in that pit, jumping to your destiny. For everyone who says that you cannot do it, remind yourself that you can. Remind yourself of your greatness. Remind yourself of your power. Remind yourself of how far you've come, what you've had to do, what you've gone through, and where you're going. Jump out of that pit, my friend. Do it for you, and you do it for the world. Thank you for listening, my friend. This has been Jerome Shaw on TOP, the Open Palm Podcast here in San Antonio, Texas. I pray you received an encouraging message letting you know that sometimes it pays to be a little deaf, just like that frog who turned all the discouragement into encouragement and jumped right out of that pit. The words that we speak to ourselves and the words that we absorb, we tune into what we turn into. It could be the difference between life and death. Don't believe the lies. Believe in yourself. Share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. And if this is your very first time receiving this podcast, definitely subscribe for more inspirational messages like this. And if you feel it in your heart to support, consider opening your browser to anchor.fm/jshaw. Clicking that support link there is much appreciated. Big shout out and thank you to all the wonderful supporters who continue to donate to the podcast, making it possible for episodes like this. Grab the new book now out on Amazon called Finding Inner Peace, A Guide to the Wisdom Within by Jerome Shaw. You will find that link for that book in the episode description in the show notes. Have a wonderful and blessed day or night wherever you are, and take care, my friend.